Hello, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Juan Carlos Brando. Thank you so much for having us today in this show with the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who has been working on this field for over 46 years since she started in 1977. Actually, it was in February 1977, and she has been working on this field every single year, helping thousands of families. And she had started this office with only one desk, no secretary. She working by herself, and now it's one of the major law firms in the east side of the United States, and I would say nationwide. It is one of the biggest law firms, being awarded several times with best lawyers, avo, super lawyers, and many institutions or organizations that award the good job of the law firms, led by an attorney like the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who also was the president of the Bar Association long time ago, not very long ago, in the state of Ohio. And well, she has a lot of experience working, helping people in the court, helping people file their cases in front of immigration and getting people out of jail, even from ICE. Well, many cases that we can have, family-based cases, work-based cases, investment cases. But if you want to ask a question today, just feel free to ask your question in this show to the attorney Margaret W. Wong, who is live right now, and these questions and answers are absolutely free. So let's welcome the attorney Margaret W. Wong. Good afternoon, Ms. Wong. How are you doing today?
I am very good, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Tell us a little bit of, based on your experience, how does the time that we are living look in immigration?
So you are questioning what's the recent changes in immigration law?
What do you see in the immigration atmosphere right now compared to prior years?
That's a great question. So when I got my green card in the 70s, 1.2 million green card was approved every year. Nowadays, we are lucky to get 900,000 green cards a year, but the whole world population have exploded because people are having kids. And even though Japan is lowering the birth rate, Korea, China, they're all, lowering. But instead of increasing the numbers of green card, America is reducing the green card in the past 50 years. And also years and years ago, I still remember before 97, you have what we call a 7-year suspension. And then between 97 to 2001, we have the repaper. That means the new law came in April 97. It's a 10-year now on the non-LPR cancellation of removal, but the hardship have to be to your parent, spouse, or child. And then fraud waiver has to be only the parent and the spouse. Even a child cannot give you a pardon. And for example, we applied for a green card. Now that I got my green card, so instead of getting my children green card, I lied and say my brother's children, I'm getting them green cards. Before 97, you have a waiver. After 97, if they're not your child, 6E have no waiver. So things are tightening up through the years, and people would think, oh, it's Republicans. But in 97, it's President Clinton. President Clinton also in the 90s and year 2000s, tightening up the whole criminal situation. So for now, the only exception is 30 grams of marijuana and possession. So if you have possession, 40 grams of marijuana with intent to distribute, is no longer a petty theft. So there's no waiver. So it is getting harder in the past 40 years, and it's really getting worse. Nowadays, it's like things are changing. Years ago, you're thinking about America. It's very, it's a very pure, beautiful country everything is volunteer. So it's not like they check every tax return. So it's on a volunteer basis. We file our tax return. If we underreport, if we are unlucky, they did an audit. In the past 10 years, there's very few audit. They'll catch us and they may charge us criminal or 3 times fine. But America is changing. Instead of Department of Justice, now you have Homeland Security. FBI now, CIA, they're very worried about terrorism. With the gun control stuff, Nashville just killed 3 kids and 3 teachers. So it's just horrible. The world has changed together with America. So that's a very, very good question. What's the future trend? And also in my days, it took me 12 to 15 years to finish law school, to do OPT, to get green card, to get citizenship. We are willing to wait because we're paying our dues. Now people are not willing to wait. They'll come in, documented or undocumented. The first thing they ask is, oh, what could you help me get a green card? Oh, I have 2 yesterday I have someone that I felt very bad about, only in America for 4 years, came as a minor, so really no parents, already have 2 OVI, already have 2 children with 2 partners, and the kid is like only 20 years old. And I sort of look at him and I'm thinking in my mind, if I were his mother, I would kill him. I mean, I'm not going to kill him, but I would be screaming and yelling. You're talking about people who may or may not be indigenous, who doesn't even speak Spanish, who speaks Quiche. And with the global Google and stuff, all we want is to come to America. So I can go on and on. I'm sorry, Mr. Juan Carlos. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for sharing all of this experience, because a lot of people wonder what's going on with the immigration, if this is the worst time for immigration or if it's the best time for immigration. So I understand that with former President Clinton, things changed a lot in immigration, but was that a good change or a bad change, Ms. Wong?
I think it's good changes. America cannot have all these. I mean, I know I sound so bad. I believe in you come to America to contribute, to become an upright citizen, to run away from somewhere that we don't want to, but we don't want to run away from America back home. Life is filled with choices. We made a choice to come here, so we better learn English, no criminal record. But each person have different case, thinking. So if you think, a lot of people think immigrants are very liberal, we welcome open borders. That's not true at all. Most immigrants like us, we are very, very conservative. When it comes to money, when it comes to social, we take care of our own families. Most of us don't get on welfare because I have clients who say, it's my child, I'm going to support it. I don't need to get on Medicaid, Medicare, welfare, so they could have autism. And I'm just so proud of them. They use debit cards, not even credit card, because they want to pay right away. We have so many clients just say, don't worry about me, Mrs. Wong. You help me. I will make sure I pay you. And they pay with a debit card. I always tell them, why do you pay with debit card? You pay with credit card, because credit card, you have a 30-day flow. They say, oh, no, I want to pay. I don't like to owe people. So that's the pride of us immigrants. I mean, I know there's some immigrants you think, oh, we have 5 children, we're on Medicaid, Medicare, welfare, Section 8, housing, food stamp. But the world has changed. We're not like that anymore. We come to work. I may come illegally. I may leave illegally, but I pay my bills. You don't see a lot of immigrants filing bankruptcy. And that's why banks are getting smart now. In New York, Chinatown is bad because of all the FBI arrests. But most banks now, as long as you have some sort of ID, they will let you open a bank account. They will charge you a higher interest, but they will give you bank loans for houses. Because normally you don't see a lot of immigrants file bankruptcy, don't pay bill for the house, don't pay a dentist bill, a lawyer's bill. They pay their bills, and we pay our bills.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer that you just gave us. And we are receiving questions from our audience today, working and talking to them about what immigration is doing. So let's start with the questions. Gautam is sending the first one of them. My question today is, I didn't get my advance parole through TPS on time, so couldn't go abroad for interview with my wife with her EB3 nurse visa. She went to interview and got visa already. What happens to my application?
I would not have leave on advance parole to get the green card anyway, because anytime it's an employment-based visa, if you leave on parole, unless you have an H-1B, it's only TPS. You may. This is interesting. This is an EB3 nurse case. It depends on what country is she from. If it's Philippines, it's about 3-4 years. But if it's China, is nowadays it's 5-6 years. It's India. EB3 is 10 years. So I presume she was never out of status. But it's to go abroad is a DS-26. This is an interesting case because normally you have someone to file a waiver for you, and then you leave the country after that 3 years and you come back with the green card. EB3 nurse is nice because you don't need a perm, you go straight. But you only have TPS. I'm glad you did not go because you may not be able to come back unless you were never out of status and you filed TPS within 6 months of entry. This is an interesting question. You may want to call me and tell me what country you're from. If you're from Bangladesh, Pakistan, it makes sense. If you're from India, this question doesn't make sense, and I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you so much, Miss Wong. And well, I would like to say, if someone needs interpretation, please let me know, because I'm receiving some questions in Spanish. We actually have two of them. But if you need interpretation or translation, just let me know and I'll do it for you. Okay, today's show is in English, but I can do the translation if you need it. Okay, thank you so much for your answer, Ms. Wong. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. If you need more information or if you want to make an appointment in your city, the attorney Margaret W. Wong will be happy to help you with your case. 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Monica Ayala. Good morning. We have a case, my husband and I, of cancellation of removal, and we have received a letter from the immigration
It's
court.
a status letter. Yes, we're getting like more than 200 now, more than 300 in our office. What that means is that the court now is coming into Tennessee, Ohio. Only about 8 courts are getting these letters, or 16 or something. So we are busy states, which means that they're saying that if you want to, you have a certain deadline. Most of the letters you're getting now, the deadline is between May 15th and May 22nd. We need to tell them, do we want off the docket? It's the same as the old administrative close, because they propose dismissal and termination, and us lawyers are not very happy because we don't get a work permit. Now they came up with a status letter, which means that as long as you want us to keep the case in status, you have no more master calendar or IH scheduled, you can protect all the benefits. If you have a C8 work permit, if you have a C10 work permit, if you have a C9 work permit, you don't have to go to court anymore. That means you won't have deportation, you don't have to do appeal, but you also don't have a green card or winning chance. So if you have a good non-LPR cancellation of removal, don't take the status. So for example, your children are autistic or Down syndrome, I would not do the status. But if you have 3 beautiful kids, they're normal, they're not obese, they're not suicidal, they're not depressed, and you have a beautiful family, but you didn't file tax return, I would do status. So you don't do status on cases you can win. You only do weak cases status. And sometimes I don't like to know that let the government know I have a weak case, because it's like chess, right? You play your trump cards. So these are questions that I would talk to your lawyer. I mean, if I were you, I would talk to them. We have all these status cases. So, and it's a judgment call from your lawyer, because sometimes all of us lawyers, we have a gut, we develop, I always tell my clients, you develop 3 things, especially immigration lawyers: your mind and your brain. your heart and your passion and your gut. The gut tells you, should I take status? Sometimes it's a chess game. Sometimes you want to take status because I'm going to lose this case. I'm just doing it because, for whatever reason, I'm waiting for my kid to be 21. I'm waiting for my parents to be a citizen. There are other cases where I think I'm going to win this and I want to take a risk. Also depends on your relationship with your lawyer and also your risk taking. I've some clients who say, Mrs. Wong, I don't care what it is. I don't want to go to court. I'm really scared. I've other clients who say, do this. If I lose, I lose, but I want to use this chance to win my case. That's good too. So it's a risk taking. I think it's a lot of fun to get the status letter.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your answer. And I'm going to translate for Mónica Ayala. Mónica nos dice la abogada que esta es una pregunta muy interesante. Que esto del status letter es una carta que han estado enviando de la corte a las personas que tienen un caso de cancelación de deportación pendiente. Lo que están diciendo es, podemos cerrar tu caso administrativamente, es más o menos los mismos efectos. Te vamos a seguir dando tu permiso de trabajo, vas a poder seguir teniendo tu seguro social, vas a poder seguir teniendo tu licencia y tu caso queda así. No te vamos a dar una orden de deportación, va a quedar el caso así. Pero la desventaja de esto es que no vas a poder pelear por una green card más adelante porque no te están dando un estatus, no te están aprobando el caso. De igual manera, entonces lo que nos dice la abogada es, yo recomiendo ese status letter o esa carta del estatus o del estado en que se encuentra su caso, yo la acepto si el caso es débil, si usted tiene niños que no tienen una condición médica complicada o si usted no tiene los taxes completos o si usted no tiene quizás todo el carácter moral 100% respetable, pero si usted tiene un buen caso, si usted tiene hijos con síndrome de Down, con autismo, con obesidad, con depresión, entonces usted lleve el caso hasta el final porque lo que queremos en este tipo de casos es que a usted le den su green card y no que usted tenga que estar renovando permiso de trabajo tras permiso de trabajo, que es lo que pasaría si usted acepta el status letter. Así que analice bien, hable con su abogado. Si no tiene abogado, puede hablar con la abogada Margaret Wong y le puede dar la orientación con respecto a ese caso. Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your answer. And the next question is, how can a Haitian professional nurse file for a work-based visa?
That's a very good question. I don't know if you're in America or overseas. If you're in America, you need to look into your state. So if you're in Florida, you need to look at a Florida State Board of Nursing to get a nursing license. You have to pass TOEFL. You also have to pass NCLEX. And then the one thing nice about nursing is that you don't need to do a perm. Perm right nowadays is taking 1.5 years. You can go straight to an I-140. Quota, if EB3, actually I have the quota sheet here, and thank you to my office to get me prepared. Okay, if you're from Haiti, so you're current. That means you can file after 90 days in America on a tourist visa, you can file adjustment of status. The only country that's not open for nurses, China, which is February 2019, and India 2012. All other countries, Mexico, Philippines, that's awesome because there's a lot of Filipino nurses in America. So you're Haiti. So it depends on what visa you're in America now. As long as if you're on a tourist visa after 90 days, you can file adjustment of status with the I-140. The prevailing wage information, and you don't need a perm. And congratulations. It's an EB3 case. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And well, if you need more information, just give us a call. The phone number 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Juan Torres is asking, Ms. Wong, could you explain to me what is Wawa?
Wawa, I don't, I learned something because I didn't really start doing Latino cases until maybe 7 or 8 years ago, more because I don't speak Spanish and I'm very sorry about that. Wawa is very prominent in U visa. Two things. It's very prominent in the community, and especially in the past few months, something's happening. Wawa merely means you're married to a green card, a citizen spouse. So he was abusive or she was abusive towards you, so I can file a 360 to get myself a green card. Now, if your children are also abusive, lately there's a lot of problematic teenagers or children over 21. Technically, you could also do Wawa. Wawa is different from U visa because U visa, you need the signature of a law enforcement officer and you are a serious victim of crime. I mean, not that serious, I mean, pretty. And also, there's a list of qualifying crimes. Wawa is very much you were abused. And it's also different from SIJ cases or ward of court cases. Those cases are for people under 18 in certain states and under 21 in certain states when one parent abused, neglected, or abandoned you. So there are three types of cases that sort of intermingle. One is a U visa, one is a Wawa, one is, but Wawa is also a 360. It's different. So if you, for example, already married a green card holder or citizen, already got my green card, there's only a 2-year green card. You can also do Wawa to protect the 10-year green card, which is very different from abuse case. I mean, you can do the 360, but you can also do Wawa for the 10 years. So there's different types of Wawa. Children could be abusive, but be very careful because you really don't want to split up a family. Visas are very important, but I have questions about that. And I would like not to hurt. And some people just make someone beat them up and do a Wawa. It's just right. But this is abuse case.
Miss Wong, I think this person is interested in the other part of the answer.
No, it doesn't, because it has to be from a green card or citizen spouse that you married on Wawa. It does not include El Salvadorian woman who has no green card or citizen. Abandoned me and my 3 kids. Maybe is a good, maybe another type of case, but not a Wawa case.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. Don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The next question is, it says, quick question. My wife, 601 waiver.
Congratulations. Yeah.
I need to do consular process. How do I do it and how long? She's in Nigeria.
Ooh, Nigeria is a tough country. The American consulate is sort of strange. They ignore us, but congratulations. So your wife's 601 waivers approved. That means I presume she could get the passport stamp and come to America with a green card. So you need to do consular processing. I presume you came to America legally or illegally, but you stayed here more than a year undocumented. So once she comes, she can do a 601A for you. And now after 601A is approved, you need to go there for 2 weeks and come back. 601A processing turnaround time now is 3.5 years. Now, another way to do it is if you came documented and because you're from Nigeria, a lot of us from Nigeria, we always ask like a broker, a travel agency to sign the paper. So make sure when you do the DS-160, when you came legally on a student visa or tourist visa, make sure you did not misrepresent. A lot of times, even though I was single, I'll say I'm married. Even though I have no children, I'll say I have children, because that's really the only way to get visas out from Africa and Nigeria and, Sudan and Kenya and stuff like that. So make sure you do that, because if you didn't check it, you can go back like your wife. Your wife already came straight because it's a 601 case. You still be stuck there on a 601. You have to file another 601. Processing time is 9 months to 2 years. But it depends on if you came legally. So if you came legally, you can wait for your wife to become a citizen, which she can file after 4 years and 9 months. If she lives in Ohio, it takes only 6 months to become a citizen. Legal entry overstay with an American citizen spouse, she can file, you can file directly in America. You don't need to go out and come back, because going out and come back takes 3.5 years just for the 601A, and it takes about 9 months to 2 years for the I-130. You may or may not need the I-130.
Okay, so the next person says, how long does Wawa cases take? My case started in 2020.
It depends what type of Wawa. I don't know if you came legally or illegally. If your case is already in court, you can only do the 360. And then you get a bona fideness letter, and then you can get a new work permit pending green card. But if Wawa takes about maybe 1.5 years, but every 6 months they give you, you can do an extension if your case is in court. If not, you may want to file 485 together with a 360. Then you can get a work permit about 3.5 months to 9 months. So Wawa is interesting. Right. So if you start the case already, depends on what's the abuse. Is it physical or mental and stuff like that?
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. Don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Next question. We have a lot of questions today, Ms. Wong. I came to the United States 2 years ago. My partner came 6 months ago. We are not married. We have a kid. He was born in Costa Rica. He's 6 years old. But we want to bring him to the United States. We are from Nicaragua. How can we do this process?
You may, if he could somehow get a Nicaragua passport, that may make your job easier, because Nicaragua is one of those 4 countries on a parole case. If not, you have to somehow win your case to bring him or her to America, because I presume is born in Costa Rica, and Costa Rica have no special program. And try to bring her on a tourist visa, but it's difficult because the parents are already in America. Yeah, this is difficult.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. The next question we've got through our YouTube channel is, I got green card through marriage. I have 2 kids. One is 6.
Okay, what you want to do is to have the stepmother, if you are a man, have the stepmother file for the 16 and 11-year-old, because she's a citizen. You just got the green card. You should also file I-130, but you only have a green card, I presume. So both parties filed I-130, so they should file 4 I-130s, whoever goes first. And it's important because even if you divorce this new wife, relationship happened. This is very important. I love it because I used to teach in law school on immigration law. Because relationship started, the step relationship started when you married the stepmother before the age of 18 from these 2 kids. So even though she already divorced you, if she's willing to help, she's always a stepmother. So file it now, because it's a citizen filing. As long as they come to America before 21, that's good. Same with you. You should also file it. So when they go to interview, immigration knows that the fact that the stepmother filed means that there was a real relationship.
Thank you so much.
You may be divorced or not divorced.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984, Attorney Margaret W. Wong. And we have a last question for today. This is Pela. Today our people in the YouTube channel is very, very active. So thank you so much for joining our YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and receive all notifications when we are going live, or when there is a new video. You will be able to go and see the video or join our our YouTube live streaming. Pela says, hello, Madam Wong and team. Please, what is the processing time for?
It's about 9 months to about 2.5, 3 years. Under Bush, 730 is more like 3 weeks to 3 months, and then through the years it got worse and worse. Some precedent-setting countries like China, there was a time, the 730, they don't even give you the approval notice. They directly cabled your approval to Beijing in China or Guangzhou, the 730, and then they'll ask the beneficiary to go interview. And they're not supposed to, because an asylum story should be secret, but sometimes they'll ask, oh, what do you think? How do you think your husband got the asylum? What does she know? And these are inappropriate questions. But 730 is the beneficiary of an approved asylum. Another new law just came. My newsletter talked about that. If you have a granted asylum, before a few weeks ago, this new law just came in a few weeks ago, so it's fresh off the stove. Before now, you can only file the green card 1 year and 1 day after a final asylum grant, after your fingerprint clear. Now you probably could file asylum after 4 or 5 months or even 3 months, because the law now is as long as the green card is approved in more than 1 year, you're okay. Right now, green card is taking 2 or 3 years or 1.5 years. So you could probably file after 2 or 3 months after final grant.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for your answer. Don't forget, you can call the attorney Margaret W. Wong. She has also been a teacher in the law school for immigration. So that's awesome that you have someone that is already keeping up to date, reading all the news, reading all the changes that are going on in the immigration field. So thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for today's show. I'll see you next week and on Wednesday at 9:30 a.m. for the Spanish show, and Thursday at 12:30 p.m. for the English show. So thank you so much, Ms. Wong, and I'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Thank you. And for everybody who has joined us today, don't forget, you can call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. Attorney Margaret W. Wong, with over 46 years of experience working on the immigration field. See you next time.